I wanted to make a video talking about this new stockbroker that I'm using called Motif Investing. I know I posted some links for referrals to my Facebook website, to my Facebook page, but I wanted to make a video so that people could see a real user's perspective of this place that's really neat. I already started this video once and it didn't work, so I don't know if I'll leave out any information this time or not. I'll try not to. If you don't know anything about stock investing at all, the thing that makes Motif different is that typically when you invest at a stockbroker, at a typical online broker, if you want to buy Apple stock, for example, you'd go and look up the quote, and you see that right now Apple stock is selling for $97.55. And at a typical broker, you can only buy and hold shares. So $97.55 would buy you one share of Apple, plus you'd had to pay probably a $10 commission when you bought that stock and when you sold it. Now, so that would be well over $100 for one share of Apple. And if Apple went up to $98.55 and you had one share, you would make $1. If you had 10 shares, you'd make $10. If you had 100 shares, you'd make $100 for that same dollar increase, but it would cost you 10 times or 100 times more, respectively, to purchase those shares in the first place. And as you can see, that adds up really quickly, especially if you can't afford much stock. Your commissions can eat up your profits really fast. What makes Motif different is that they have these baskets of stocks that are themed. This one is focused on stocks that do well when food prices are rising, for example. This is all about healthy foods. And what these are is, we can go in here and you can see that there's a list of stocks here. But the difference with Motif is that you don't have to buy whole shares of stock. You can buy partial shares of each of these stocks. And you can trade this whole basket of stocks for just a single $10 commission for all 30 stocks when you buy and when you sell. And that's just pretty amazing compared to other brokers, because it allows you to diversify. When you diversify, some of your stocks are going to go up and some of them are going to go down in a typical day, but it keeps you from losing as much money potentially, because the ones that go up will pull your overall, the amount of money that you make overall will be pulled up, even though some of them are down. So it's always a great thing to diversify, but usually a small investor can't really do that because we just don't have the money to do it. So that's why Motif is so different. The other great thing is that you can take any of their pre-built motifs and you can say, okay, I'm going to go into Healthy and Tasty and I want to buy this basket of all these stocks right here. And so I'm going to click buy. Now, I don't even have to know how many shares I can afford. All I have to do is give them a dollar amount that I want to invest, and they will do that. There's a $250 minimum to purchase each motif. And they will figure out how many pieces of each company I can have. So I might only, if Apple was in that motif, for example, I might only be able to afford a third of a share of Apple, but that's okay because I don't have to buy whole shares at Motif. The other great thing that I like is that you can also customize any of these motifs. So let's go back here. If I don't like, let's say I don't like one of these stocks that are in here. Let's say I like all of these stocks except Kellogg. Well, I can click on customize, and I can simply remove Kellogg from this, and then I can just save it and buy it just like that for the same $10. Or I could change, let's say I want more of a certain, let's say I want more of Hershey's, the Hershey company. It's right now it's at 14.5% of this basket. Let's say I want to move it up to a bunch more, like 45%. All these others are adjusted accordingly, so that most of my when I buy this, I'll buy mostly Hershey and only a little bit of the others. And this chart up here, we click on it, this shows you how much you would have made over the past year if you had bought this motif. The line in blue shows you what you would have made if you hadn't changed anything. So we can see that in the past year, if we go over here to the end, I would have made 19.4% if I had left Kellogg in, but only 15% return if I took Kellogg out in the past and kept that for the past year. Now obviously, previous returns don't predict the future returns, but it's pretty amazing that you can see that level of detail. Most brokers, you could never go back in time automatically like that and see what a difference your changes would make, or even what returns you would have had. Most brokers, you cannot easily do that. It's not nearly as intuitive as it is here. So let's say that I don't like any of their pre-built motifs. I can also build my own motif, and that's what this is over here. These are all motifs that I have built. This tells me I haven't bought all of these, I've just built them. This tells me what they would have returned since I created them. So I can see at a glance which motifs would have done well for me. If I want to create a new one, it's as simple as going in here. I can add a description there. I can either have them help me find stocks. So if I wanted to build a motif, let's say I want to build a motif around driverless cars. They will automatically pick out stocks, a few stocks for me that have some interest in building driverless cars, or in the future of driverless cars. We can see we got Google and General Motors, etc. Two Google, actually there's two Google stocks there, General Motors and such. So again, I can customize the weight of these any way I want them. So if I want more of Google, which is Alphabet, then I can, I can't do it on, let's see, I can't do it on this screen. I have to go to organize and weight, and then I get the same sliders that I had before, and I can customize these any way I want them. I have more of that one, and I get this chart again that tells me what this motif would have done. This is set for the past year. I can also look at the past week, or the past month, or the past 3 months, and see what this motif would have done. If I change any of the stocks in here, Or if I move the sliders, if I can get it to move, if I move that slider back down, then this chart changes in real time. So you can see the difference that you just made, or the difference that you would have made in your 3-month return if you reweighted those stocks. If I want to add stocks to this, I can say add or remove stocks, and I can choose any stock that I want, again up to 30 stocks, by typing any symbol that I choose. So if I want to add AT&T, I just added it right there. And I can go back to organize and wait. And I find my AT&T. I can change the weight of how much I want, and all of the other sliders are changed accordingly, because obviously it has to add up to 100%, and this chart of my return changes accordingly too. So if we go back to my custom built motifs, this is the one that I have bought in my accounts. You can see that I created it when I created it on 5/25. No, that's when I last rebalanced it. I initially purchased it in April, on April 11th, and since that time, let's see which. Since that time, in this account, let me go to my other account. In this account, it's returned 7.2% since I bought it. In my other account, let me get to my other account. I bought that same motif that I created on April the 8th, and it is returned 17.6%, and this is now June 16th. So that's an amazing return in a couple of months. Now you see this date up here that says last updated. That means that's when I rebalanced it last. So what happens is, as we know, stocks go up and down a lot, and sometimes you want to change the weights or whatever of your stock, or change the stocks altogether. So you can rebalance this, and that allows you to go back in and add stocks or remove stocks or reweight stocks. And again, when you save this and buy it, it will automatically sell the portion of stock that you need to sell and buy the new ones that you added in. You just again give it a dollar amount that you want to invest, and it only costs you a $10 commission to rebalance that motif. I can't emphasize enough how different that is from most brokers. Most brokers, it would cost you upwards of $300 just to buy, just in the commissions, to buy 30 stocks, not even counting the price of the stocks themselves. And it would cost you another $300 to sell those same stocks. And here you can buy it and sell it for two $10 fees. So you're down to $20 instead of $300. It's really amazing. It allows you to make a lot more return on your investment. Again, the other thing that I find so amazing is the ability to see how much money I would have made with any given motif. I can go back to rising food prices, and I know at a glance that if I had purchased this motif and followed all the rebalances, because on their pre-built motifs, they rebalance them occasionally, just like you can rebalance your own. And if I had followed all the rebalances in the past year, I would have made 17.8%. And that's just crazy to think of how well that's done in the past year. And again, it's all because of the diversity of having 30 stocks rather than one or two, because some are going to go up and some are going to go down, but you're going to make money overall. That's what's amazing. They also have a thing where if you refer a friend, and that's why I've been putting out referral links, if you refer a friend and deposit, if that friend that I would refer deposits $1,000 in 10 days and buys just one motif, they will give us both $100 for nothing other than leaving the money in our account for at least 45 days. Even if you turn around and sell that motif and leave your money sitting there for 45 days, they will give us both $100, and you could withdraw it and take the money, and that's a 10% return on your $1,000. That's a pretty amazing thing in and of itself. Last thing that I forgot to mention before is also another really neat feature that makes it really easy if you really don't know what you're doing. You can also, if I build this motif, like, let's go up here to my built motifs. Okay, I built this top 30 motif, and I rebalance it every couple of months to update it with new top stocks and things. And what you can, if you buy this motif that I have created, then every time in your own account, then every time I update it with new stocks or a rebalance of any kind, all that will what will show up immediately on your account is a button that says follow rebalance, or I think it actually says update on the button. And all you have to do is click update, and it will change what you have bought, the stocks that you have in your copy of the top 30 motif, to what I rebalanced them to. So you can always follow me or any other user or the professional rebalances, and you don't even have to know what stocks to pick. All you have to do is click a button, and it will automatically update it so that you own the latest set of stocks and their weighting and everything that currently exist in this particular motif. And that's a really important thing if you're new to stock investing and you really don't know what stocks you want to pick. You can find a motif that is doing really well, and all you have to do is follow the rebalances. Like I said, all they cost you is $10 every time it's rebalanced, and you'll be updated with the latest stocks in that motif. Anyway, I just wanted to make this video so that people would know that this is a real brokerage firm. They have all the affiliations with the proper regulatory authorities that you would expect. They've been all over the financial news because they are such a disruptor in the market, because they're doing things so differently from any other broker out there. They've been on CNBC's 50 financial disruptor list for the past 3 years in a row. And that's quite remarkable. There are no other current companies on the list that have stayed there, that have been on the list for 3 years. So that's pretty remarkable. So if anybody has any questions, just ask me. If you don't see any interest in it, that's fine. I just really believe in this as a way to invest for the long term. And I just really feel like I need to share it with people, because I don't think people realize how easy motif can make it to actually make money in the stock market. Obviously you can lose money too, but this is the easiest and most consistent way that I have found to this point. My motif at one point was up 27.1% in about 2 months. It dropped back a little bit, and I rebalanced it and changed the stocks in it. But even now, I'm up 17% since April. And that's just really, I just can't emphasize enough how strange and different that is.